All right, number 7, we're trying to determine if the graph has a 0 between 4 and 0. So we can do the same thing with synthetic division. I'm going to show you just another method with the calculator just to see if this is something we can do as well. And you can just watch this a couple times if you have a graphing calculator or the phone app. But I'm going to turn it on, and it's going to be the same as if you were just to kind of plug in that number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the value. I'm going to save one value so we don't have to type it in twice. So the calculator has letters. They're in green on mine. So I'm going to hit the alpha and then the A button. Okay, and that will pull up a letter. What I want to do is I want to save a number. So I'm going to do 0. I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to hit the number 0, and I'm going to tell the graph to save it. So this STO button means store. Save this value, and I'm going to hit alpha A. So right now alpha A doesn't have a value, or it has a value of 0. I'm just going to make sure it saves as 0. All right, I'm going to type in this function 9, and then I'm going to do alpha A. This is going to be my X. I'm going to raise it to the 3rd, and then minus 72. I'm only doing this because the number's a little bit bigger, so it may take more time. But each time you're going to put in the A, you're going to, or the X, you're going to put alpha A. And then minus 49. And then plus 392. All right, so when I do that math, we just get 392. Okay, so that's positive. So I'm going to write down 392. 0 gives us 392. Now we're going to plug in 4. So the reason why I tried to do it with the A, because I want to now do it with 4. So I'm just going to type in the number 4. I'm going to hit alpha A. Sorry, clear that out. Hit the number 4, and then I'm going to save it, the STO button for store, and then I'll hit alpha A. So now I'm going to change the value of A to 4. And to recall this, or to bring what we've already typed in back up, we're going to hit second enter, and it brings in the last thing you did. We're going to hit second enter again. Now when it pulls up the function, the value of A has now changed to 4, since that was my last action. So instead of me having to type it all again, there it is. If I hit enter, okay, this time it gives me a negative 380. So when we do 4, we get a negative 380. So we went from a positive R value to a negative. So that tells you somewhere between 0 and 4, the graph had to cross 0. So it says if does, we're going to say does have a 0 on this interval. And then it says find the 0. So if we want to find the 0, we can factor this function by hand. We could graph it and see, but factoring might be the best way for us to do so here. All right, so 4 terms, we're going to do factor by grouping, two at a time. Both of these numbers are divisible by 9 and x squared. So we're going to apply a 9x squared. That's going to leave me with an x, and then a minus 8. So I want to factor something out of here so that it's the same. 49 is the only thing that would give me a 1 here. So let's see. When we do 392 divided by 49, 49. Okay, and that gives us 8. Okay, so we want to divide the second parentheses by a negative 49 because we want the first term to be positive and the second one to be negative. Okay, so I can just move it out of the way. So we're going to factor out a negative 49, and that's going to give us positive x minus 8. All right, factor by grouping this term and this term. They both have the x minus 8 in common. So we're going to pull out the x minus 8 from both, and then what we have left is the 9x squared, and then the minus 49. Okay, so setting each term equal to 0, it's going to help me find the 0. Now, this is going to give me 8. That's not the one I'm concerned with. This is probably the one I'm looking for. Difference of squares. So this will give us 3x minus 7 and 3x plus 7. When we set both of these equal to 0, we're going to add 7 divided by 3, so we're going to get x equals 7 divided by 3. Now, 7 divided by 3 is about 2 1/3, so that's between 0 and a fourth, 0 and 4, so this is probably one we're looking for. If I set this one equal to 0, we would subtract 7 divided by 3, so we get x equals negative 7 over 3. And this one is a 0, but it's not in the interval 0 to 4. That's the one we're looking for. So the one that's between 0 to 4 is 7 over 3. Now, just to give you a check, it should give us 2 and 3, 3, 3. If I go to y equal, I'm going to type in the function, so just showing you an option that you can use to check 9x to the third minus 72x squared minus 49x plus 392. All right, so if I graph this, actually I'm going to go to y2 and I'm going to put in a 0 because I want to find the intersection. Hit a 0. So now I'm going to graph. So it's going to graph the line. We can kind of see it's crossing twice. Now it's also graphing another line right here on the x-axis, the one that I put 0. If I actually go to y equal and I change, go to the very front arrow back to the front and I change this, I'm going to do the circle with the line. That will like trace, and so you can kind of see where it's graphing. That one we can see, so we don't need to, but this one, you can't see that line because it's right on the x-axis. So I'm just going to find the intersection of these two lines. Putting it in at 0 will let me find the intersection. So we find the intersection by doing second and then the blue word calc. We want to find the intersection of these two. So 5, and it asks me first curve, it's on that one, so I'm going to hit enter. It asks me second curve, I'm going to arrow close to where that 0 is and hit enter. And then it says, do you want to guess? I'm just going to hit enter a third time. And you can see that that is 2.333 repeating, which is the same as 7 divided by 3.